On this edition of Mustang News, we take you on an inside look at what it takes to compete in TEXOMA'S HELLACIOUS obstacle run.
And we take a sneak peek inside a new bar downtown that's leaving visitors reminiscing on the good old days.
Plus, we investigate the current campus climate after a recent incident that took place within campus housing.
All this and more coming up. Hello and welcome to a new edition of Mustang News. I'm Latoya Fondren.
And I'm Trey Jones.
Women's empowerment is a topic of brunch this week on campus, and reporter Haley Aldridge has more on the story.
University Programming Board hosted the Women's Empowerment Brunch to empower women and men at the same time. This event served eggs, potatoes, and sausage in assorted muffins. The guests got free souvenirs and got to take a picture with the empowerment frame after Connie Alley spoke her message about empowerment. Social Awareness Chair Taylor Dinkins says, "We need to learn to empower ourselves and others."
The purpose of the brunch is to basically not help women, but to remind women that they have some type of power within themselves. So it's to empower, like it's in the title, Empowered Women Empower Women. And so it's our job as women to lift each other up and to hold each other accountable. So I guess it's just sort of kind of like a light reminder to do that throughout the year.
All proceeds from the event were donated to First Step, a nonprofit organization in Wichita Falls that provides free, confidential, and comprehensive domestic violence and sexual assault services. Keynote speaker Connie Alley says, "Do our best to promote and embody positivity in a world that can too often feel cold and unforgiving."
First of all, in this day and time, it's hard to be kind or be kind. Believe in yourself and inspire other people. Don't just sit back and put people down. Tell them what they're doing right and what they're doing well and encourage them to encourage themselves.
The hosts hope that the takeaway is that you have the power within yourself, and with that power, you can encourage others as well. Not let anyone dim your light, whether you are a male or female. Reporting from Mustang News, I'm Haley Aldridge.
Now, for more information on the University Programming Board, you can visit their Twitter page at MSU_UPB.
Came rain, lightning, and thunder, but nothing kept volunteers away from participating in Maverick's Day of Service last Saturday. Reporter Stephen Gomez has more on the story.
With an early rise and cloudy skies, volunteer registration began at 8 a.m. in the Clark Student Center atrium for Maverick's Day of Service. Around 200 volunteers then split up, heading to 10 different nonprofit organizations, stopping first with Dorothy volunteers. The second stop was at the American Red Cross Center, where another group was given a brief lesson on CPR. After the lesson, student volunteers were directed to 2 neighborhoods where they installed smoke detectors for those in need. Alec Collins, coordinator of student organizations and leadership programs, explains the future goal of Maverick's Day of Service.
So actually in the fall, our goal is going to have 2 of these each semester, one near the beginning of the year and then one about halfway through each semester. So we are shooting for Roundup Week to having one, and then one about probably around 9/11 Day of Service. And in the spring, we're going to be shooting for MLK Day of Service, and then another Mavericks Day about this time.
The third stop was with the group at the Craftsworks Foster Fund block party. The block party was in full swing with volunteers setting up and monitoring an inflated obstacle course and preparing bags of food for children. One volunteer group went to the Junior League event where they served families a Disney-themed brunch. JC Grimes, a Maverick's Day of Service sophomore volunteer, explains how she enjoyed herself at the brunch.
It was super fun. I had no idea what I was gonna do today, so when I found out that we were going to help a brunch with Disney princesses and Disney characters, super excited. We got to see all the parents and the kids and serve them lunch and just see them react to all the princesses walking around, and it was super cute.
The last volunteer stop of the day was the Faith Fashion Boutique at First Presbyterian Church, where volunteers worked as cashiers and baggers for shoppers, and all the proceeds would go to the women's homeless shelter. The students' overall success of the day was rewarded with pizza back in the Clark Student Center, with the event ending by 1 p.m. For Mustang News, I'm Stephen Gomez.
To find more volunteer opportunities, log into your MyMSU Texas and click on Mustang's link for more information on what's available.
The food provided for students is one of the most important parts of campus, yet Chartwell's has faced backlash from students since it became the main provider for MSU. Our very own Samuel Mitchell went undercover to vent his opinion about the dirty side of Chartwell's.
Hello everybody, I'm Samuel Mitchell, and today I'm doing an undercover report of MSU Chartwell's cafeteria. Let's get going. So as you can see, we have the cereals here. Now this is a very small selection of cereals, which is already poor enough. We've got the Lucky Charms, outdated. Oats and honey, it's just granola bar smashed up. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, actually pretty good. This one doesn't even have a label on it. For all we know, this could literally just be horse hair formed into circles. And then we have Reese's Puffs and Cocoa Puffs. It's the same thing, they just don't mix them. Racist. We have fat-free and chocolate milk, but we don't have normal milk, and we don't have fat-free chocolate milk. We also don't have 2%, but you could be drinking whole if you think you're fat, because you're not. Over here, we have condiments. We have jelly, butter. I don't know what that is. That's bad. We have 2 syrups back there. They spelled Sunday wrong. They spelled it with an E instead of a Y. Already just poor selection. Butter just sitting out with a spoon. Who uses a spoon to spread butter? You use a knife. And then we have, I'm assuming this is honeydew, which is stupid. Nobody eats honeydew. Those are just sliced open. Look, you can see the brown on them, the mold on them. That's actually kind of gross. I don't like to look at those. This is just one of the areas that we will find to be not good. Let's move on. So here we have a sign for the Cafe Latte, the best in town. This is a good example of wrong advertising, false advertising, because if you've ever had the Cafe Latte here at the Chartwell's cafeteria at Midwestern State University, then you will know that it is nowhere near the best in town. It's actually pretty bad. So as you'll see right here, another just prime example of just how gross this place is. Certified human beef patties. They're physically serving human meat here at this cafeteria, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't like being a cannibal, and I enjoy eating just normal beef, and I don't want to eat human patties. Chartwell's is serving human meat. Alright, let's move on. Now we'll move on to the dessert section, which is this is where they usually serve their desserts, like some cakes and cookies and breads. Right now they've got half a plate of cinnamon rolls and scones. The scones are really hard. I guess they're kind of okay sometimes. The cinnamon rolls aren't really that good. That one looks like it's got some blood in it. I'm assuming one of the chefs cut his thumb slicing them, and he's got some blood on the cinnamon roll. So that's just bad. We don't like that. There's this obnoxiously loud noise behind me right now. I think it's an ice cream maker, but it might as well be McDonald's because it never works. We've also got paper plates, and we've also, as we'll point out later, there's a bunch of paper plates over there. Our cafeteria doesn't have a dishwasher anymore. A dishwasher. But let's move on. We've also got some breads right here. Now, I will say this is the one shining light. This lemon poppy seed bread right here is God tier. I will eat so much of this bread. I'll literally walk in here and just have 4 slices of lemon poppy seed bread for breakfast. I will admit I actually really enjoy that bit. That's fantastic. But there's also like a half-eaten slice right here. I don't know what that's all about. That's kind of weird. I don't know if that's legal. Let's move on. So now we'll look at the bev station. As I said, with the dishwasher, we've just got the paper cups right now, which is very detrimental if you're drinking coffee. It'll burn your fingers a little bit, but that's okay because that's the only thing you can deal with. Here we've got our bev stations. Same thing, 2 sides. It's okay. Now, oftentimes they'll run out of lemonade and they'll just be replaced with water, but that doesn't have a sign on it. So you'll go for lemonade and you'll click it and it's just water that pours out. And that is one of the most disappointing moments of my day every time. And then if you look over, like I said earlier, we've got the paper plates and bowls right there, and it's just not good. Here, buns just laying out with no food. This place is just abhorrent. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to eat at Chartwell's, just know that it's gross.
After this break, our very own Era Washburn investigates the current campus climate. Stay with us.
Each path to success is a journey, filled with twists and turns that allows you to discover more about yourself.
At MSU Texas, you can set yourself up for success while learning on your own terms. Faculty mentors, research opportunities, real-world experiences, and individual attention are just a few of the many advantages of an MSU Texas education.
Here, you can find yourself, live, lead,
and learn in a vibrant, creative community.
make connections that will last a lifetime, and prepare for the careers of tomorrow, today.
Take the first step of your journey with MSU Texas.
Welcome back, Mustangs. Just when it seems things are quieting down on campus, another incident involving racial discrimination reminds us there is still work to be done in becoming a university which welcomes diversity. I set out to investigate the current campus climate. A recent act of racial discrimination at MSU Texas has led to a climate where students are feeling unwelcome and targeted. The incident took place within campus housing when two students targeted their African American roommate with racist and derogatory language. News of the incident spread around campus, the city of Wichita Falls, and across social media quickly, and was promptly followed by a statement by University President Dr. Suzanne Shipley. She says the reported behavior runs counter to our MSU values of mutual respect, civility, cooperation, and social justice. All forms of discrimination will be addressed as we work to ensure an inclusive environment for all students. This week also marks Inclusion Now Week at Midwestern State University, an annual event which prompts students to engage with social justice issues through several entertainment and educational events. Some officials are using the pre-planned week-long event as an opportunity to directly confront this incident and the overall campus climate. On Wednesday, the university held a student forum as a way to engage conversation between students regarding the recent incident. Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Keith Lamb, says giving students the stage to express their thoughts and concerns enables the university to better create the desired environment.
An incident that occurs on a college campus is often just symptomatic of a more systemic type of issue, right? And I think that's really what we have to understand first. Do these things happen in a vacuum? Typically not. What is the systemic issue? Where are the pressure points? What's the data telling us? What's the student voice telling us? And then craft interventions to that. But I think at a very basic level, it starts with how we educate students when they first get here.
Director of Equity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Affairs, Dr. Sarita Green, says college students ages 18 to 23 come to a university pre-packaged with their ideas of the world around them as they set out to discover themselves. She says because students come pre-packaged, it is important for a university to educate students early on acceptance of diversity to ensure they will help support a safe and welcoming environment for all.
They're coming prepackaged with their own belief systems, thoughts, ideas about the world around them. And so sometimes that is in line with the values of the university, and other times they are out of alignment. But until sometimes these types of incidents happen, we don't know which students are out of alignment with our values. And so we certainly work to provide programming and education and different engagement opportunities for folks to, to rethink about the packaging that they come in with, right? But certainly we don't reach everyone.
Events like the 4th annual Inclusion Now Week are among the ways the university is reaching out to students to educate and encourage them to step out of their comfort zone. The week began with the premiere of 2 documentaries and a reception to follow on Monday that allowed attendees to view artwork by students and mingle within new crowds. Guest artist Rachel Ross says since involving herself in political topics she would normally avoid, she has felt empowered.
I didn't care for it, I didn't want to know, or simply I was too lazy to be involved with it. And now that I'm getting involved with it, I'm just learning all of these different things that are better for your body, better for your mind, and it's just like, it's filling me with empowerment that makes me feel whole inside. And that's what I'm hoping for other women to achieve, and men too.
On Tuesday, the Health Sciences Department hosted their own event in the Clark Student Center that was aimed at breaking down the labels we put on ourselves and each other. The activity prompted students from different backgrounds to step outside of their box, literally. If a student had a certain characteristic, background, or ideal that was named by the host, they were to step out from their box into the center of the room. The point of the exercise was that because we judge a person from the outside, we may never realize how much we have in common with them. Associate Vice President and Dean of Students Matthew Park says students attending a 4-year university should set out to engage themselves within a diverse community and within topics that make them uncomfortable to better understand the world around them.
They need to understand that attending a university, attending MSU Texas, embarking in a higher education is more than just going to class and the discipline-based content. They may not like it, but they should try it. So they need to go to these events, go to the programs, go to the activities, go learn about something that they've never seen, go be around people that they've never interacted with before, and listen. Get to know them, understand it. It's a part of the world that we live in.
Inclusion Now Week continues through Friday with events for students and faculty to participate in. Beginning next fall, the Department of Equity, Inclusion, and Multicultural Affairs will be introducing student-led cross-cultural councils on campus in specific focus areas. The cross-cultural councils will be made for groups such as Asian Americans, Latinas, international students, LGBTQA, men of color, and more, in hopes of encouraging equity and inclusion at the university. For Mustang News, I'm Ara Washburn. All MSU students should have received emails containing a campus climate survey over the topics of sexual misconduct and the diversity at the university. That survey ends April 26th and will provide data for the university to get a better understanding on where the campus pressure points are in hopes of improving those gray areas. And now, back to LaToya and Trey at the desk.
Ara, thank you so much for that report. Now imagine going to your local bar, not for your favorite drinks, but to eat a bowl of cereal and play your favorite video games while watching cartoons. I took a look into one new business downtown that is fulfilling that dream.
As the development of downtown Wichita Falls continues to expand, one new business is giving TEXOMA'S a treat of eating their favorite cereal while playing their favorite games all day long. And a new cereal bar called Maniac's Mansion is doing just that. Owner of Maniac's Mansion and local DJ, Marcus McGee says his dream of opening an arcade began 3 years ago when he started collecting video games and placing them in his garage. When the opportunity came along to open the arcade, he wanted people to see his collection.
I've just been collecting for years, and I also just been putting it in the storage unit. I don't know why, I just like this certain stuff. I was deciding that I wanted to sell my stuff because I have a family, and I was like, you know what, let me sell some of this stuff here and there. But then the opportunity came about to where I could make Maniac's Mansion. And I was like, you know what, everything that I collected, I want people to see, because a lot of people never seen any of this stuff.
Opening an arcade is something that Marcus describes as being a kid in a candy store, and he noticed that with the large crowd of folks on opening night.
I couldn't see none of my arcades in here. I was amazed that everybody was interested in what I like, and that's a cool thing because there's a lot of people that don't express that, and I feel like I did something for the geeks here and for the people who are interested in it as well.
Jacob Tubbs, attendee of Maniac's Mansion, says the arcade brings him back to his childhood because he gets to play his favorite games, eat his favorite cereal, in an environment that has so much support from the community.
We've got local sponsors all over the walls. that have donated their time and money to it.
The arcade helps the community because it's a place where anyone can be a kid, and with the connection of 8th Street Coffee House, it brings more excitement to downtown.
Bring your kids, bring your kids, old and young. I think there's something that could be permanent here. This is not only a staple, in my opinion, to downtown. This is more of like a nail into the concrete. Like there's no removing this.
And that nail in the concrete of downtown Wichita Falls will continue to be a place where a kid can be a kid for years to come. For Mustang News, I'm Latoya Fondren.
Now, Marcus also says his goal is to have the biggest arcade in North Texas, and he plans to expand and open a bigger arcade in the future. For more information on ticket prices and hours of operation, you can contact Maniacs Mansion at facebook.com/Maniacs Mansion, Wichita Falls, Texas.
And finding a replacement coach for any sport team is never easy. MSU's men's basketball coach resigned earlier this semester, and Rodrigo Morales gives us an update.
Midwestern State University's men's basketball program has been struggling to achieve high levels of success recently. They have not had a positive winning streak since the 2015-2016 season. With the recent departure of Coach Haggerty, Director of Athletics Kyle Williams has been looking for a replacement. Williams comments on the current status of the search for a new men's basketball coach at MSU.
Well, at this particular time, we are in the process of, first of all, we got a ton of applicants, which is a great testament to the program and to Midwestern State.
Williams emphasizes some of the characteristics that he hopes the new coach will bring.
We emphasize collaboration. I'm looking for a team player to be on our team and to continue the goodness and the great tradition that men's basketball has had here at Midwestern State University. There's a reason DL League and Coliseum is what we call Dome Magic. Okay, you know why we got Dome Magic? The teams before me, 3 years, won 72 in a row here at home. 72 in a row.
Williams also comments on the future goals of the men's basketball program.
Yes, we want to win conference championships, we want to win regional championships, and at some point, we'd love to win a national championship as a team.
With all of this being said, it is no surprise that expectations are set high for the next coach. For M&G Media, this is Rodrigo Morales.
The decision for the new coach should be finalized very soon. They hope this ends up being a smooth transition into a positive winning season, and we wish them all the best. And also on Saturday, April 6th, I took on a big challenge, and I'm not talking about trying to keep my camera dry while filming in a thunderstorm. I attended the Thor race held annually in Wichita Falls' Lucy Park. However, it wasn't exactly the perfect conditions to perform in. It was cold and it was wet, but more importantly, it was muddy. Lucy Park, home of the annual TEXOMA'S HELLACIOUS Obstacle Run, or Thor, hosted the event that took place on Saturday, April 6th. Thor is a non-profit 5K-ish race that is held every spring here in town. What started out as a cold and stormy morning turned into a day of nothing but mud, and more mud. Dozens of people did their best to keep dry most of Saturday morning before the skies cleared up. But this is not the first year that the race has had its own uncontrollable obstacle when it comes to the weather. Last year, Thor runners had to experience freezing cold temperatures. Event chair Michael Boyle says although the weather caused a delay, he fully expects participants to enjoy the course even more.
You know, it's a mud run, it's an obstacle run, it's outside, you're always going to have to deal with Mother Nature. That's just part of the event. Last year it was frigid cold and we had about 1,000 people still come out and brave the freezing temperatures. This year we're dealing with a little rain. We've got some lightning in the area, so we had to delay the start a little bit. But people are hanging out, enjoying the Carbach beer tent, and we're just kind of weathering the storm and waiting to see how things go.
And since the course seems like so much fun, I decided to see for myself just how hellacious the course actually is. With thick, sticky mud weighing your shoes down, it makes the course all the more difficult. From walking through the Wichita River, to crawling through long barrels, and to even jumping over large hay barrels, the course definitely had its challenges. There were even times when it seemed almost impossible to stay on your feet. but there was no shortage of support, ranging from volunteers all the way to fellow Thor runners.
What are you doing, bro? What is it? Go a little tired. We gotta get over the tire. Probably go over. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. We're going over. Over? Over. We're going over. Over only. No choice. Over only.
Boyle says that support is what makes Thor so special.
You know, I think it's just providing an event for the community to come out. It's something unique and different. You know, we've got people who come out and do this event every year. They look forward to it. They form teams. They get coworkers to come out. It's just a good place to come out and hang out and have a good time.
From Mustang News, I'm Trey Jones. And you know, LaToya, I don't think I've ever had that much mud on me in my entire life, and it felt like it would never wash off. If you want more information or want to sign up for future Thor events, head over to wfthor.com.
Despite a dirty mess, it looks like you had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, wearing the GoPro gives our viewers that first-person perspective, and it shows how difficult the course was and how fun it was also.
So how was it for you, like, towards the end? Did you feel accomplished?
I did. I also felt very tired. Like, I was ready to go home and take a nap and shower.
I'm sure. Well, if you're not getting dirty and down, then you're not having fun, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Mustang News. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MNG Media and like us on Facebook. Be sure to tune in next time for your campus news.